Join me today as we take a second look at some Streamline passenger cars and do a follow-up to the first video that was released about 7 months ago on how to improve the rolling performance of Streamline passenger cars. Streamline passenger cars were a brilliant addition to American Flyer's passenger fleets, but over time the wheel sets do tend to become problematic, especially if they have quite a few miles on them. So one of the things you want to do is check for freedom of movement and how well the wheel sets roll and the axles, and check for play both left and right and up and down, because what happens is over time the holes that are in the side trucks wear into larger and larger openings, and when these openings get to a certain point, a couple things can happen, but the most common thing is the flanges on the wheels actually come into contact or start coming into contact with either the bottom of the car frame or the truck top of the truck frame. So once that starts happening, obviously you're going to notice that the cars don't roll very well. So you want to take them apart and gently but firmly investigate the holes that have been made for the ends of the axles. And if you see that the holes are extremely large, you might try putting a bushing insert in, and you can get these from Portline Hobbies or Michael's department stores or craft stores have them. I believe they're a 3 or 4 millimeter size. And you can see what I'm doing here is I'm test fitting to see if the bushings will fit. And the first one, it slid right in. The second one, not so much. So that one popped out and stayed out. After the bushing was put in then, I made some more adjustments to the side frame, put some grease in there, and then stuck a wheel set in there to see how it would turn. And in this case, despite the fact that that bushing fit in the hole very simply, very easily, once I put the wheel set in, it didn't spin freely enough, so I took it back out. As always, I take every advantage I can to polish and burnish any wheels that are going to be picking up electricity. So as you might imagine, and as you've seen in all my other videos, that's what I'm doing here. Once this is done, though, I take a lot of time to look hard at the side trucks. Are there any contours to them? In other words, in addition to being bent away to allow the wheel sets to come out, do they also have some individual twists in them, which I did notice on a couple of these. I also looked at the tops of the truck frames and noticed that those were bent away from the bottom of the car. So that was something else that I knew I needed to try and work at bending correctly. And it amounts to a lot of tinkering. So you can see I'm using a needle nose pliers here. I'm making some adjustments. Then I spin the wheels. Did it work? Did it improve things? Did it not? And how do things look? Do the trucks look square? If not, then I go back to trying to bend and straighten things out. I'm not sure if these cars have gotten dropped throughout the last 70 years, and that's why they're so kind of out of square, kind of racked, if you will. But something has happened, or some things have happened over time. I also suspect that cars that are placed in storage, let's say in a box, if they have weight pressing down on them in a certain angle that's not true, it causes some issues with deformity of the trucks. So anyhow, regardless of what the cause is, the solution is just tinkering, bending, trial and error. And as time goes on, you start saying, oh, okay, now that wheel spins freely, now let's narrow in the other one, and after a while you end up with a car that rolls really well. So as always, thanks again for tuning in. I hope you found this helpful and informative, and as always, you're invited to subscribe if you haven't, and enjoy your American Flyer trains.